on Charlie Thorne, the Charlie Thorne series. So, Charlie Thorne is a genius girl. She's super intelligent. She has a really high IQ. And in the first book, she sent, well, basically, I'll give you some background on her first. So her parents want to use her in game shows so then they can make money off of her. But she doesn't like this, so she ran away to college where she doesn't actually attend any of the classes since she already knows everything. She only shows up for tests. And then she leaves again. So she spends most of her day skiing. And that's where the CIA found her. The CIA want her for an investigation where they're trying to find something called Pandora, a simplified version of, well, what they say it like this. So Einstein's E equals mc squared says that there's a lot of energy inside mass. But what it doesn't say is how to access that energy. So Pandora is supposed to tell you how to access that energy, but apparently it was too easy. So Einstein hid it away and feared that terrorists or people with malicious intent might use it to their advantage. And the CIA want to find it before a group of terrorists who are looking for it does. Rebecca can tell us more about what's happening when they find her.
So two agents, a person named Dante Garcia and...
Oh, I thought it was Dante.
Well, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Dante, actually. Dante Garcia and also Milana Moon, or Milana. So she's skiing when they find her, about to ski off a cliff. Well, a really steep. Is it a cliff?
I think it's a cliff, yeah. It's called
she-
Deadman's Drop.
Yeah, so she's about to ski off a cliff.
Or she's already skied off the cliff.
Yeah.
She's midair.
Yeah. And so she lands and she makes it. And everyone is super impressed. And so Milana Moon starts, Charlie Thorne notices that Milana Moon is there.
And she looks suspicious.
Yeah, so she starts running away. And so Milana Moon chases after her, but she puts her ski pole between two trees and knocks Milana to the ground. And then so that's where Dante comes in. He comes in and so she steals a truck from a person and starts driving away, but then he's right in front of her. And she doesn't want to, like, roll over him.
Run him over?
Yeah. So she stops. And then she gets captured. And then Lucas can tell us what happens.
Keep in mind, Charlie's actually 12. So she's really intelligent for her age. And, so they take her onto a private jet. And then they tell her that she has to find Pandora for them. Or else they're going to bust her for a scandal that she did, because they're basically blackmailing her. So how she can afford all this stuff and to live by herself is because she's got a lot of money, and she got it illegally, although she thinks it's fair that she did what she did, because when she was younger and apparently naive, she sent a software that was a really powerful security encryption system. And it was really hard for hackers to stop. And she sent it to a really big company, telling them, hey, would you like to buy this for a lot of money? They never went back to her, but then they started selling it. And since there was no chain of letters, she didn't have any proof that she sent it to them. So she couldn't, and when she tried to get a lawyer to help her, they all brushed her off and said, a kid who wants to sue the biggest software company in the world? Not gonna happen. So she took matters into her own hands. It turns out the security program she used had a backdoor cut that she installed herself. And the big company's website was defended using that. So she went in and crashed it, stole $40 million. Well, the security system was worth $10 million. She was wanting to sell it for $10 million, but the security system, the company said no, and they were already making millions and millions of dollars. So the corporation was defaced and completely ruined, and it did a lot of damage. So Charlie could be put into jail for probably a while for what she did. Of course, she doesn't want that happening, so she's forced to agree. And she's told details about the case. Rebecca can tell us more about this.
They end up in Israel.
Oh no! First, the details about the case, like
Okay.
the terrorist group and stuff about them.
Well, there's a group of terrorists led by, well, they're all very like angry looking young men. They're all very racist, and they want all immigrants to like go away.
Yeah, from Germany, I think they're from.
I don't remember.
I think they're from Germany.
Yeah, I think they're from
And
Germany.
this guy's friend lost. This guy's friends lost their jobs to immigrants, so they don't like the immigrants.
Yeah. So they're trying to steal Pandora so they can blow up a whole bunch of the major cities where the immigrants are.
Yeah.
And so they want to stop that. But Charlie's a bit reluctant because she thinks, oh, well, probably the Americans want to use it to blow up things too, right? And so Dante disagrees. But then Charlie brings up the fact that that's what the Americans did with the atomic bomb. And so, but she still ends up agreeing. And then Lucas can tell us more about what happened next.
So she deduces that Einstein might have hid it in Israel because they think he might have hid it in one of his books, which a lot of them are in a library in Israel. So they go to Israel and they look through the books, but it turns out the terrorist group is there too. So, well, I'm just going to add something about the terrorist group. They've tried to infiltrate the terrorist group before, but with one of their best agents, but he disappeared. And they found the supposed remains of his body. And so they keep chasing down this equation, and eventually they find it. I won't say the details so I won't spoil it for you. And Charlie ends up escaping with it. And nobody else knows it because the only copy of it was burned. And so, in the second book, something happens too. Another brilliant scientist with a different discovery. I won't talk about that as to not spoil it to you. I think this book is good for, this one is for like third graders and up, right? I think it's good. Yeah, I think this book is good for third graders and up. And yeah, happy reading. Bye.
Bye.